Fairy tales can come true. They can happen to you if you're young.
Hi
at
everybody,
heart.
welcome to my second vlog of a Twirlie's life in Paris. If you didn't catch my first one, not a massive loss, I was just introducing myself. I'm a dancer, I'm English, and I live in Paris with my French boyfriend. And just a blog really for myself and for anybody who's interested in what it's like to live in another country and to be a dancer in another country, and yeah, check it out if you want to know a bit of my background. But voila, I just walked in from going to do a food shop at Monoprix, which is our local supermarket. It's thankfully right across the road from where we live. But that doesn't make it any easier because we live on the 5th floor without a lift, which is often the case in France. You tend to have a lot of stairs to climb, and so I literally just walked in the door after carrying everything up the stairs, and it wasn't the most simple experience this time. I went because yesterday my boyfriend Morgan went to do the shopping, and when he got to the till, his card wouldn't work, and it's not really like Tesco's or somewhere where they will keep the food shopping for you and you can nip home and get your card. They're not so flexible here. So he couldn't do the food shopping. So today was my turn to attempt to do the food shopping, and I went, and as usual got more stuff than I could carry. And then when I got to the till, I realised I hadn't got my purse because it's in my backpack, which I take to work with me, and I hadn't put it in my handbag. So I was panicking, and very luckily I'd collected the post and I had some money in one envelope, so I was able to pay for it. So that was one drama over, and then as I was walking out the shop, I was carrying a 6-pack of Boudoir, which is this, which is 6 1-litre bottles, and as you can see, the whole thing broke on me. First the handle broke off, and I dropped it in the street, and I already had 3 other bags to carry. And then when I was getting to the house, the bag broke as well. So all of that up 5 flights of stairs, not fun. And voila, that's Paris life for you. Always a struggle, but at least it's a bit of a workout. And it also means that I can never do more than about 3 days food shop at a time because I just can't carry it by myself. And me and Morgan rarely go and actually do a food shop together. I thought I'd have another go at filming my vlog because I filmed some a couple of days ago and I realised I'm a bit late with my weekly log. But I filmed a few days ago and I didn't really know what to talk about. Things have been kind of slow in January. I've got a lot of work show-wise, but it's been so cold here. And it just got warmer and now it's got cold again, and apparently there's sort of storms surging around France. So I've not been out a lot, and obviously trying to save money as well. I've become a bit of a hermit, which is so different from what I was like last year. When I first arrived in Paris last year, I couldn't wait to get out of the apartment, partly because we lived in the tiniest apartment in the world, and it was a bit soul-destroying staring at a blank wall out of window across the courtyard of where we lived, but also because I had so much to explore and to see in Paris, and it was springtime, and yeah, coming back from the south of France after spending the whole summer in the sun and going to the beach and zooming around on Morgan's Vespa, it's been a bit of a shock being here for the whole winter. Last year I got out a few times. I went to the Seychelles for a job, I went to Norway, I went home a couple of times, and we went down to the south of France to see Morgan's family. And this year we've not been anywhere for about 6 months, so it's been a bit of a shock to the system. Yeah, so I've just been staying in and doing something which I never used to do, which is watch films and just getting on with various bits of paperwork and procrastinating on all the projects that I've set myself. So yeah, I filmed something a few days ago and it wasn't very interesting, and I thought, oh, do I really want to do this vlog? I mean, it's something that I want to do, but am I always going to have something interesting to say? And am I just talking for the sake of it? which the answer is yes. But at the same time, I do want to follow through on at least one project this year, and I want to force myself to continue with it as long as I'm enjoying it. And it was enjoyable the last time. But yeah, I kind of lost confidence a little bit in it. And I think another thing that's happened since I've been here and I've been staying in the house so much more is that I've been making my favourite thing to do, which is to make lists of things that I need to do. And rather than actually getting things done, I make lists about what needs to be done, which takes up so much time that I end up not having time to do anything. And then I'd set myself a lot of resolutions for the year and a lot of projects to be conquered, which when you're writing them out on a list sounds great and inspiring and motivating, but when you actually come to tackle the list, what I felt more was overwhelmed, and having a vlog to do every week kind of scared me a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to push on with it, and I'm going to try and post this one today. Even if it's not massively interesting, at least I will have done it. So another thing that's kind of been on my mind this week is I'm trying to start personal training, and I have a company who I want to work for called Get Sporty, who I've already had an interview with and have a contract sitting on my desk. It's proving really difficult to get the liability insurance that I need to be covered as a self-employed personal trainer. So I've done all the paperwork, and now I've come to find the insurance, and I've been turned down by a company because my diploma is English, and it's looking like I might need to translate my diploma somewhere in France officially, and I haven't actually received my official paper certificate of my diploma yet. They say it takes 12 weeks. I was assuming that I would get it in the summer, 3 months after I finished my training, but I didn't realise that I had to actually finish my diploma, which was an optional part to get the certificates I need. So I then finished my diploma, which didn't happen until October, and I received my diploma e-certificate in November, and now I'm waiting for the paperwork. So I'm almost going to be a year on before I actually receive the paperwork. Then it's got to go and be translated, and I've got to find somewhere to do that. Then I have to get the insurance, and then I can start. So it's looking like a massive delay on being able to start, which isn't great because I don't have a lot of work in February. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that. And one of my New Year's resolutions was to not get stressed about paperwork or over emotional or cry. And I think I've done it once this year already, so it's not going that well. But I'm refusing to get stressed about all of this stuff. But it's a little bit frustrating, and it takes a really long time because I need Morgan to help me write emails, to make phone calls, and things like that. Face to face, I'm pretty good for speaking French, and I can muddle through when I don't know the words that I want to say. But on the phone it's a lot different because you can't see the person, you can't gesticulate, you can't have a rapport with them so much, and if they don't understand you, it's really, really difficult. So he does a lot of my phone calling, and he has a lot of his own work to do, so I can't push him too much to help me. It has to be when he has free time. So yeah, that's one of the things I've come up against this week. I've been working, I've been doing shows. I had a few days off, and I'm back to shows now. And yesterday we had 2 shows, which is always a long day because we have to be there at 1:45 in the afternoon. And then the show's quite a long show, and then there's a couple of hours in between finishing the show and coming back for the second one. And I usually come home, but yesterday my friend Katie was in Paris. One of my best friends who kind of started a French journey with me, and she's moved around all of last year, but she's coming back to France this year, and I finally got to see her, and it's probably been about 8 months. So that was really nice. We went for dinner in between the shows, and then I went back to work and worked until midnight. So I was really, really tired yesterday. Unfortunately, in the first show, during the can-can, I was doing the very last movement of the can-can and of the show, which is a big drop split. So jump up in the air, legs split, and then you drop straight to the floor. Very impressive if done properly, but what actually happened to me was I jumped up in the air and I put my back leg, which has a talon, a heel on the end, obviously, can-can boots, and I went to split my leg out, and as I pushed my leg out, it got caught in my skirt, and so normally when that happens, the skirt rips because you're already in motion, but it didn't rip. It stayed exactly where it was, and my foot stuck at an angle, and so I jumped up in the air and with my back leg bent landed on the floor on my knee, and that was really, really painful. And now I have a massive, which I can't show you right now, but I have a massive bruise there on my knee with a fishnet mark, which is always lovely. It's kind of purpley blue at the moment and it's really sore, so that adds to the problems on my left leg with my dodgy ankle, and now I've got dodgy old knee as well. So yay for January. I'm just really getting too old for it. Always something. I mean, I'm quite a clumsy person anyway, but that wasn't really my fault. But anyway, I'm going to see my physio today, so he should probably stick some more needles in my ankle, which will be lovely. And I've got work again tonight. So there we go. I'm going to try and keep it short and not masses to report. And hopefully January will get more exciting. I'll be able to tell you about my catwalk for Intermarché and how that goes next week. I've got a lot more shows, and I've also booked tickets home, so me and Morgan are going back to England for 5 days in February. Woohoo! I really, really need to get out of Paris for a little while, even if it's to go to England and it's freezing cold and currently snowing there. But I need to see my family, I need to see my friends, just for a little break, because it's just the two of us here, and as lovely as that is, I do really miss my family and my peoples back in England who I can have proper English banter with. So yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for listening to my second vlog, and see you next week. Bye!
Hey.